Like, I actually can't understand what Zeong is cooking in the office to think that Hawkeye doesn't need changes. That character is one of the most toxic characters in the entire game. He sits from back. He sits from, he sits in the back. Enough is enough. Guys, we need to have a talk on rivals. So I'm making this video because I think I have a good idea on where the meta is after the season 6.5 patch. And I guess where the meta is heading or has been heading for a long time. So yeah, guys, I want to talk about a couple of problems that rivals have been having for a long time. And I don't really understand why they haven't been fixed yet. Before I get into the topics though, if you don't know about me, I am a top 500 Magic borderline one trick. I can play a couple other things. I play Magic Angela, and then I've been picking up Deadpool. I can play Loki, but I mainly play Magic. That's my character. But yeah, I'm a high rank player in the game. Been playing since season 0. Actually, I've been playing since the alpha of the game, I believe the alpha or the beta, well, one of the two. I've been playing since basically the start of the game though. So I guess the first least important topic is, I guess, the most recent patch notes. All right, and I guess the overall impact of the most recent patch notes. So season 6.5. all right, so with season 6.5 patch notes, I'm gonna be real, I don't think much really changed like meta wise due to the patch notes. Like overall with season 6.5 there was a lot of placebo changes. Doctor Strange, for example, 10 HP off shield a second, like that does nothing. Thor basically has the same HP in any normal fight. Like Moon Knight, for example, Moon Knight with such a minuscule change, it's just like this doesn't do anything. This doesn't do anything for the character. It doesn't make him not build ult every 20 seconds. That's the problem with the character. Phoenix was a good example, a good change, which was very small, but I think it does help quite a bit. She's still very good, of course. It at least makes her a killable or like punishable target. Now, there were some good changes in the patch notes, I'm not gonna lie. Like Storm, for example, Storm's rework, I actually like quite a bit. It makes her less of a just support, aura bot. Like Storm is more like individual now. She can actually like hold her own. But again, aside from that, there really wasn't much in this patch. And that's the problem. I think that's the problem right there. That the devs are not really moving the needle on the game and the direction of the balance. That is the main problem. And actually, to segue into the next point, we could just talk about the biggest problem that has been around and not been shifted enough for far too long, that being triple support. I don't understand. I genuinely don't understand how at this point in the game, and this many seasons in, we are still having triple support run rampant. Triple support is just running rampant this whole time. The only season that I can think of where triple support was actually not meta was season 1.5. And I think that is when they did, basically that was the unkillable dive meta with Captain America, Iron Fist diving you. Cap had like 800 HP. It was so bad. There was actually, I think, 2 hotfix patches. So it did get fixed somewhat quickly. But yeah, that patch was pretty bad. And I think that's the only time where triple support it didn't even matter. Yeah, but aside from that one season, since season 0, triple support has been meta. Like, it's been in the game, it's been cancer to fight. It's just that people it wasn't as like commonplace at the time. That's all it was. It just wasn't as common. People just didn't know like that was like the comp to go. This is the thing. Nobody likes fighting triple support. Like, listen, in any rank, actually, in any rank. I play quick play. I've played in other ranks as well because I do like challenges with characters. So I play almost every character in like every rank at some point. All right, I play, yeah, like I said, I play quick play. And again, nobody likes triple support. High elo people don't like triple support. They only run triple support because it's meta, and that's it. They just run the meta comp to win the game. And honestly, I feel like half the time people in high elo, you got to convince them to go triple support anyways. Like, people know it's broken. Everyone knows it's broken, but nobody wants to do it because the game's just boring. Nothing dies. Absolutely nothing dies. And if nothing is dying and it's just becoming which team gets support ult first or which team's support ults are better, then it's just boring. It's just like, why am I even playing the game? Now, I guess I will explain as to why triple support is broken, and I guess I fixed to it. So the thing is with triple support is that you can't really stop people from picking 3 supports straight up. Like, there's no like mechanic in the game which is going to stop someone from picking 3 supports, and that's fine. It's fine if there's no mechanic to stop them from picking 3 supports, because you can pick 3 DPS or 3 tanks. There needs to be just like soft mechanics in the game, or like counters in the game, to be able to deal with it. Anti-heal is a good example where, in theory, anti-heal can help with triple support stuff. It can help mitigate the triple support nonsense. However, you have characters like Blade, for example, which was a complete failure, by the way, a complete failure on his release to be any kind of like meaningful anti-heal countered for the healing in the game. His ult, by the way, providing 20% anti-heal, like as if that's gonna do absolutely anything. Like, it's just so bad. It was such a fail by the team, and they still haven't made his ult good, by the way, still, even though many people love Blade and would want Blade to be good or viable. But the thing is, besides Blade, it's like there's just not really enough counters in the game to the healing. Like, there really is no counter. Like, the only counter to the healing, to excessive healing, is just straight up one-shotting people. The same thing happened in Overwatch 2, by the way. Not Overwatch 2, but just Overwatch in general. Like, the same thing happened where Widow Hanzo became the absolute meta that you had to run, basically. Because healing was so high, the neutral fights basically just didn't exist. So, like, you just had to straight up one-shot the enemy in order to get any kills. Or just, like, pop, like, 6 ults at the same time. And the same thing can actually happen in Rivals. If they ever add another one-shot character, for sure. It just makes it to where the devs want to leave characters like Hawkeye completely untouched, by the way. Like, so, like, I'm saying Hawkeye right now was completely untouched, even though he is very clearly a very unliked character in the community to face. Nobody likes fighting Hawkeye, all right? Nobody. And also, what plays into triple support being so strong is the fact that is when you are running these meta triple support characters like Mantis, I'm saying, like, as these are the third supports, Mantis, Gambit, Adam, Loki. These characters are effectively DPS. These characters do way too much damage for supports. If these guys are meant to be supports, they cannot have the healing they do, or at least they can't, like, listen, they can have the healing. Mantis can keep her leaf healing. That's fine, because she's considered, you know, to be a low heals character. But, like, maybe make it to where she doesn't build ult so fast, you know, or something. Like, if she's gonna have all this damage, Gambit has the most insane dual power of, like, any support in the entire game. Yet, for some reason, he has also some of the highest healing in the entire game and heal utility. Adam, he's just going to be an off-angle type of character, basically a DPS, and it's just annoying to fight, honestly. It's just annoying. Okay, but, like, to, like, not dwell on triple support too long, basically, these characters are just they just have way too much healing and way too much damage, and it just puts the game into a stalemate, which, like I said, has been in the game for way too long. It's just been like this way too long. Like, I genuinely do not understand why the devs don't do something, like, serious about it, because nobody likes facing it. Nobody. And this game is supposed to be a casual game. I don't know, like, did the devs just not care about the casual players in this quote-unquote casual game? Okay, but for the second topic, guys, I want to talk about the Pokeslop. All right. Now, people were saying Pokeslop is more like I guess like a new term for the current meta, or the last, I guess, 2 seasons, where it basically has just been Hela Namor, or, you know, Hela plus other hit scan and Phoenix. It's basically just Hela and Jean, where the meta has basically just been Hela Jean just spammed in almost every game, because poking and just playing safe, it's just a strat. You don't make plays, you don't get put into any danger at all. You just sit behind a wall, peek for a little second, and poke. That's all. And like I said with triple support, it is just a boring playstyle. It is just boring. That's why I think with, like, Elsa, for example, the newest character, Elsa, I feel like at least she has to get a little bit close to the enemy. And I feel like, you know, put herself maybe in, like, danger, somewhat in danger, you know, just a little bit. But for characters like Hela could just straight up 2-tap you across the entire map. Now, Phoenix can't do that, but Phoenix can also 2-tap you while you're stunned. She can stun you. I mean, same with Hela, but, like, I'm saying Phoenix is also in the same category. The thing is about Phoenix, and what makes Phoenix a real problem, you know, despite her not having the same insane range as Hela, is the fact that Phoenix's ult is broken. Phoenix ult is just not fair. That is an actual fight winner a lot of the times, and it feels like you just can't do really much against it. Like, if you don't have the correct comp to break Phoenix ult, there is no counterplay. There's pretty much no counterplay if you don't have the correct comp. If you don't have the correct type of characters to shoot the Phoenix ult in the air, which has 500 HP, by the way, you're cooked. There is nothing you can do. And good luck getting your team to shoot Phoenix ult in Diamond, for example. Good luck. And I really feel like it is a big problem with Phoenix, because Phoenix, in my opinion, should just be that character who's like just the meta pick. Like, she's just meta, you know? She's only really used it like high elo in theory, you know? And she's just, you know, that pro pick that everyone runs because of her consistency, you know? But that's not the case. Many people have been complaining about Phoenix for ages at this point too. Also, in general, this is the thing with the Pokeslop in general. So the hit scans and like the more, just any character that just sits from like complete safety, no risks at all, and just deals damage, it's just boring. Hawkeye goes in the Pokeslop, by the way, as well. Hawkeye is terrible for the game, by the way. I have to point that out. Hawkeye needs to be changed. Like, he needs immediate nerfs ASAP. The fact that Hawkeye has somehow not been nerfed is genuinely insane to me at this point. Like, I actually can't understand what Zeong is cooking in the office to think that Hawkeye doesn't need changes. That character is one of the most toxic characters in the entire game. He sits from back, he sits in the back from 10 miles away, or just, you know, at a distance that you can't really reach him. And if you walk into his line of sight, you potentially can just get straight up one shot. He also has ways to deflect bullets. You know, for example, he can deflect your bullets for your projectiles. He can CC you, he can put you away. So it's really hard to like solo dive him. And again, nobody likes just playing the game and they just get randomly one shot. Like true 100 to 0, no matter your HP pool, unless you're a tank, you know? Because I think Hawkeye's arrow deals 400 damage for whatever reason. Like, these boring poke characters have to go. Or they don't have to go, but they have to be nerfed. Like, there needs to be just some kind of like counterplay, some kind of weakness to them, like in any way. But the thing is, there's no weakness. Honestly, throw Moonknight into Pokeslop as well. Moonknight is terrible too for the game. Terrible. And also, I can use Moonknight as a segue into another point real quick. The game simply, I think, just doesn't care about the casual fan base. Now, again, I'm a high elo player, but I mean, I still do enjoy the game casually. Like, I do play in quick play. I just play whatever characters. I learned other characters in the game, you know, the characters I'm not good with. I play in, like, you know, gold or like gold to diamond range while I'm just trying out whatever, you know. I do play the game casually and like for fun a lot of the times, and it's just not fun going up against like Penny, for example. Penny, for a long time with her team up, Moonknight for ages has been unbelievably oppressive. Like, there's no reason Moonknight should be just getting ult every 20 seconds with no skill whatsoever and seemingly almost no counterplay. And you could be like, oh, we'll just kill the Moonknights, you know, just dive the Moonknight. Well, it's hard to dive Moonknight, for example, if he has his healers just on him the whole time. If he has healers on him the entire time, it's like, what do you do? The healing is too much. And like I said, for a lot of these, like I said though at the start, for a lot of these points, these issues have been in the game for just way too long. And I don't understand why the devs are not adjusting the game or the meta in any way. They just they just keep wanting to leave in heal slop, poke slop. Like, it's just constantly in the game all the time. And I'm not saying the game should just become like dive only, okay? That's for sure. I'm not saying the game should just be like, you know, just Captain America, Venom, Spidey just diving you. Like, I don't think that's good for the game either. But like, we need to have more options here. I feel like that's also why I think they need to like rework characters like Black Panther, for example. Black Panther is also toxic for the game. But I mean, that's a whole nother video. That's a whole video to talk about Black Panther, you know, and how to fix dive itself. Okay, but I mean, pretty much that's all I'm going to talk about today, though. Like, in the end, I don't think the game is like gonna die. Like, some people said the game's gonna die. Like, there's no shot. There's just no shot. The game's too big, I think, at this point in time. But I mean, people are losing interest in the game. And I think it's just like, it's really just time the devs make like an actual big change. Really try to make a big change. Like, I think it really is important. But yep, that's the end of the video. If you have anything you want to discuss in the comments, go ahead. I'll try to respond. All right, do you think the game is dying? Maybe it is. Let me know. I'll see all of you. Peace.
サブスクライブフォームは